Hey, welcome back. It is Kurt with Inspections Over Coffee. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you have probably seen me spoken before. Might have watched the, I don't know, it was 30 minute video about starting your own business. And I said, hey, listen, if you're interested, we've already done all the things that we talked about. We've proven the model. We've shown a lot of success. And what we've done is we've duplicated that in all the systems and all the training so we can offer franchises to people, and basically they can clone exactly what we've done in their city. The first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to start with the end in mind. So I want you to picture this. A year, 2, 3, 4, 5 from now, you've been running a successful business. We're going to talk about what the day in a week in the life might look like. But the first question is like, how big is the opportunity? So before I get into how big the opportunity is, let me talk about how we got here. You might not have heard my story. I was in the Navy, 8 years, nuclear chemistry, super young, one of the youngest people to ever get through nuclear power school. Was on 2 aircraft carriers in Virginia, got out, moved to Florida, had some mild success in the financial world, got out of there. I won't get into the whole transition, but started my own inspection company, continued to add system after system after system. Had an opportunity where my kids were going away to college, graduated from high school, and we had this opportunity to move to Colorado, and we decided to take it. So I sold my business in Orlando, which was mostly, I'm not gonna lie, a one-man show. I worked late nights, I did all the things that I would teach you not to do. When it got to Colorado, I had this whole base of probably a decade worth of inspecting, whether that be environmental type stuff, working with engineers, industrial hygienists, insurance companies. We did all kinds of different inspections, and then we got into full home inspections. We did mold evaluations, mold assessments, all these different things. And so when I got out to Colorado, my buddy was like, you have a really good thing down there. I think we could blow that up. So we partnered up. I'm gonna show you what we did. So this is where we get into how big is the opportunity. Year one, with all of the systems that we had, we did $221,000. Now, of course, out of this, you don't take all that home. You got to pay for accounting, marketing, but on a home inspection business, once you have your equipment, it's not the overhead is not that high. Your overhead goes up with the number of houses that you do, so that there's no retail space, there's no kitchen, there's no stoves and ovens to buy to make pizzas or any of those kinds of things. So that was year one back in 2016. This was year two, almost 378. 519 is year three. Year 4, 783, year 5, 1.1, and last year, 1.55 million. Now, I sold my half of this business 2 years ago, and with all the systems and the marketing, it continued to grow, and with excellent leadership that it has. I moved to Phoenix, and then I was running the franchising company, and COVID hit. Nobody was starting any businesses during COVID, so I started my own franchise here. Now, here in Phoenix, most importantly, it was a pandemic, and if you remember, late 2020, there's no face-to-face meetings. Heck, most people weren't even leaving the house. Zoom was just getting going. Real estate offices certainly were not having meetings and sales and things where they could bring in sponsors. And so let me show you what I did in the first year. Just by myself while still running the franchising company and building a lot of the foundation of the franchise company. So year one, which was basically all of 2021, we did almost 152,000. But again, because the way we do things, it grows like this. This is April 15th today, so 4 months into this year, and we've already done 93,000. So again, it's continuing to grow the same way that we grew the Denver business. So that's kind of what's possible. And again, remember, I'm not even day in and day out doing all the marketing and outreach that you as a new business owner could hypothetically do. There's likely no Inspections Over Coffee in your city right now, so that makes the opportunity really big. Most cities do thousands of houses under contract, and you'll learn as we go through all the training. Our goal as a franchising company is to get 10% market share. Now, the Denver company, with their huge numbers, is probably only at like 3.5% market share, just to give you an idea. Because you gotta remember, you as a single person could do 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 if you're totally knocking out of the park, working 7 days a week, inspections a week. So that means 60 inspections a month. Right? Well, 60 average 500, that's 30,000 a month. We're doing 150,000 a month, and I'm already doing 30,000 a month here in the Phoenix area. And it's not by doing all the inspections and everything by myself. But 60 inspections a month, the reason I bring that up, is a drop in the bucket compared to the number of inspections that are available to you. And once you kind of see our concept and what we've done, we blow the rest of the inspection world away. Once you're up and going, now forget about training, forget about all that stuff, just assume you know how to do all these things. You know, your average week might start with an inspection Monday morning, an inspection midday Monday. Maybe you have a recruiting phone call with a potential inspector on Tuesday. You're going to teach a lunch and learn Tuesday at lunch. You're going to bring lunch. You're going to talk for an hour. You're sending out some marketing emails through our software system. Then you're sending off marketing emails through LinkedIn. Wednesday probably is another inspection in the morning, maybe a big commercial inspection. Afternoon, you've got a happy hour scheduled with a agency. Thursday, maybe that's your personal time and you take your kid to school or the baseball game in the afternoon. The phone's ringing, you're doing a little coaching, your people in the office, maybe you brought on a new salesperson, maybe you're having a new conversation with the person that runs that real estate office down the road from you with 30 agents about how you could be the preferred inspection company. And again, Friday and Saturday, we've got more schedules, more inspections scheduled, and maybe we're finalizing some training with an inspector. So there's a lot of different skill sets going on in order to be successful. You got people on the phone. In the beginning, it might be you on the phone. You've got inspections happening, you're checking on inspections, you're teaching inspectors, you're teaching realtors, because realtors, they definitely don't know a lot about what's going on in the inspection world. How do you get to that point? Well, the way that you get to that point is what we call our Biz in a Box. It started as Biz in a Box, and now it's like the Biz in a Box training. So let me show you what that looks like. So we have training. Now, by the time you're ready to go, it's in Dropbox right now. We have teams of people on the website building this all out, so it'll be all on the back of the website. We have inspection training. Business setup training, training to be a business owner. Owning a business is not what you think it is, and it's a 7-minute video. Owning a business versus owning, sorry, I can't read these. Owning a business versus owning a job, pride of ownership, and kind of the touchy-feely fun stuff that you can learn how to really ramp up, how to be a successful business owner. And of course, we're gonna have inspection training. So we have dozens and dozens of trainings. Now, this is not how a water heater works on the inside. We get all of that training through NACHI, N-A-C-H-I. You can do that on your own if you want to. That's how we do it. Most of the states that have licensing have approved NACHI as their sort of like technical training. This is all like the business training. This is like once you get on site and you have our entire robust built out template, do an actual inspection. Get the whole thing done in 2 hours, write the report on site. And you can watch this as many times as you need, but you get all the cheats that we have to basically speed up the inspection process while still being like super thorough, right? And again, you're probably thinking right now, oh man, this training's great. This will make me a great inspector. But I'm gonna get you to change your paradigm. Don't think about necessarily just you, but think about once you're up and running and you're like, okay, now I need help. I need help with sales and marketing. I need help in the office. I need help answering the phone. I need help with inspections. As a business owner, instead of you having to do everything A to Z, you actually plug your newest, whoever it is, salesperson, inspector, into our training. They're gonna go this far and start here, and you just have to train them that last little bit to make sure they're doing everything correctly. This section here, there'll be more of these too. There's a lot of these that aren't edited yet, but this is actual camera work, doing the summary walkthrough with real clients in real houses. So we got old houses, new houses, nice houses, houses that aren't so nice. Sales and marketing, we've got everything you possibly know, from how to get a coffee meeting to the mentality to sort of human psychology, all these great things. And then social media, this is not how do you open a Facebook account? How do you, no, that's all BS. You can look all that up on Google. This is like the super deep dive on how we use things and all the tricks we've learned over the years on how to rank on Google My Business. What are called business citations every time you make an Instagram post. How to have Instagram and Google read that the photo that you're sharing has to do with you did a Orlando home inspection or a Toledo home inspection. And so you're getting all that SEO buzz on your actual webpage. And so again, this is everything. What we've also built on our YouTube page is, and you can't see them, they're not all public yet, but we have both long and short form trainings for realtors. So imagine this, you've got a training that instead of you having to learn it, do it, take time out of your day, you could literally just give it to the realtors and go, hey, this is a class on how to prep your buyers and sellers for the inspection process. This is home inspection 101. Then what we'll also have is we have every single thing we possibly think of in little short form training. So 4 to 7 minutes where we talk about what we inspect on the roof. What do we inspect structurally? What do we inspect in the kitchen appliances? What do we inspect electrically? What do we inspect, even outside the regular home inspection? Sewer scopes, mold, lead paint, asbestos. And this as a franchisee is all yours to use. As a matter of fact, we even have all the emails built that you can send out to your database of realtors they go watch this as a training, or whenever they might need it, they go, hey, I was wondering about lead paint. Remember that 5-minute video from the Spectora Coffee? And right on the webpage, after they're done watching the video, it says schedule your local Spectora Coffee inspection. And it takes them right back to the webpage. Everything is circular so that we have the training built, send it out to the real estate world. It's totally not salesy. And then when they need an inspection, boom, you were there as their source of knowledge. Again, I really compel you to think about not just you as an inspector and you wanting to learn the inspection business and be a successful inspector, but think about being a business owner. If you wanted to start a pizza joint and every time you needed a new hostess or a new chef or a new dishwasher, I mean, you're starting from ground zero with training, right? Well, with us, you're not. You have training for salespeople, training for people in the office, training for inspectors. And when you plug them into that, again, it doesn't do everything because you still have to be the owner and hold them accountable, but they've heard it all, the right way to do things one time, and all you have to do now is make sure that they remember everything they heard, and they don't always remember everything from the videos. So what are the pros and cons of a franchise? If you've never looked at a franchise before, this is the first time ever, basically what we've done is we've taken all of our systems, all of our intellectual materials, our marketing, everything we've learned over the years, we packaged it all up, and will probably cost us several hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop over the years. And then not to mention all the legal fees and federal fees, all these things we pay for. We bottle it up and we put it in a little format that you can follow through on it so that you can then execute and clone your exact same business as ours. The pros are, all you have to do is copy what we did. And if you do what we did, you have a great chance of success. If you don't copy what we did, you have a great chance of failure. If you started a McDonald's and your McDonald's didn't have fries but did have corn on the cob, you might not be as successful. They've learned over the years that they do fries, not corn on the cob. That's the way to think about it. The con is, if you're a super creative type and you're like, well, I really want to do the logos and come up with the name, and I want to pick the colors, and I want to make the website and all that, well, guess what? We've already done all that, and we know what works and what doesn't work, and our marketing is great. In that case, when you want to redevelop all your own stuff, a franchise is not going to be great because there's really no room for you to take what we've already spent tens of thousands of dollars in years building and then like revamping it. It doesn't need that. So if you will come in going, well, I want to write my own template and I want to write my own mold template and I'll go learn how to do it. But if you're a maverick, totally fine, no worries. It's just a franchise model is not a good fit for your type of personality. Let's say, okay, I don't really want to do it all on my own, but wouldn't it be cheaper to do it all on my own? Probably not. And again, I'm not gonna say for sure. If you wanted to go to your 2-week home inspector class and get your license and then go make some business cards at Vistaprint for 10 bucks, yeah, that's a much cheaper way of doing it. But you have no experience, you have no templates, you have no knowledge, you have no wisdom, and you're gonna have to learn by mistakes. So I hope you have insurance because there's probably gonna be times where people get really upset. And the problem with doing it that way is if you make a mistake with one realtor in an office with a big mouth, he or she is gonna blast you and you're done in that office. So with the franchise, you have all of the training, you have all of the backing, and when you see something at a house that's weird, you just send us the video, or we'll make sure that we figure out who the expert is that can answer it and go, that's this, that's that. And you're never left out there hanging out by yourself. So the benefit of doing it yourself is that you have the final say in absolutely everything. The benefit of doing it with a franchise is that you have decades of wisdom and thousands of inspections every year to lean on. There's no question about how to do marketing, how to do social media, how to do, the templates we've developed, how we do the inspection, how we go through the inspection every single time. And now, if I'm being honest, we've tried to price the franchise to be more competitive than you doing it on your own. So if you were to go hire someone to develop a logo, to help you with your name concept, website, flyer development, business card development, all of the collateral that we have, and then just the know-how about going out in the real estate market and getting referrals. I mean, you need, the numbers work out to about for every agent you have referring you business, it's right around $1,000 a year is what you can expect in revenue. If you're thinking, oh, my aunt's a realtor, she'll send me business. Yeah, that's great. But ask your aunt how many houses that she averages. If she's awesome, she averages like 12, 15 houses a year. And that's like a really good realtor. Well, now if you do the math, $300 to $500 per job times 12, that's about $3,600 to $4,400 a year. So that we're not talking about like an actual business there. Whereas with us, if I could show you this. Okay, so just so that you know I'm telling the truth, the numbers actually match up. I've gone on here and looked at the number of agents that have sent at least one referral in the last year or so. And here the Phoenix business, which I showed you 150 plus 93,000 is 240,000. We have 232 agents that have referred at least one buyer client since we started. Now, if I go to the Denver business, which is a much larger business because it's been in business 6 years, not 1 big year. I mean, I remember I said 1.55 million last year. So in the last year, they've had 1,573 realtors. You can see the number down there. Send them at least one referral. So at the end of the day, all of your marketing is about that number. If that number is 10 or 20, it's not a real business, it's just a side hustle, side hobby. So everything we do around marketing is about affecting that number right there. How many realtors can we get that'll send us one referral per year? Because some realtors have day jobs and some realtors sell 40 houses a year. If you want to do it on your own, no problem. You go get licensed, you get your classes from NACHI, it's about 60 bucks a month. And again, we don't really get involved with that part of it. Like, we give you some pointers on how to get licensed and how to pass the test, but really our entire franchise and why they're successful and the purpose of them is everything after the license. Everything after the license that is all about business development, marketing emails, databases of realtors, how to get to them, what to say to them when you get to them. That's what the franchise is all about. Okay, so if you were gonna start any franchise, the reason you might consider the home inspection industry, and I have an FAQ video that's a little shorter than this about just the home services industry, is it's really hard for it to go anywhere. It's hard to replace an expert on a house with a computer. At the end of the day, people are always gonna need shelter, always need houses, and they have their own jobs, and jobs are becoming even more niche every day, and they don't have time to learn about electrical panels and water heaters and furnaces. And when they walk into a house, they look at a house totally different than we do. We're looking at the electrical and the plumbing and the appliances, the serial numbers, and where the electrical panel is, and those kinds of things. And they're looking at, like, is my couch gonna fit? Where are my kids gonna sleep? Can I fit both cars in the garage? They're looking at more everyday items. And so it's super hard to replace that. Now, more so on the industry is there are lots of home inspectors. If you Google home inspector near me, you'll find plenty of them, but nobody does business the way we do it. When this was developed, I developed it with a white collar background. I was in investments for 8 years, and everything was about systems and automation and efficiency. Now when we go to a house, we go to the house, we're super thorough. We're twice as thorough as anybody else in the industry, but we're actually done in 2 hours, and the report is written. We hit publish, we go to the next house. We don't have to think about it again. This is the first thing that makes us special, is while this is not our proprietary software, I did spend 5 months totally revamping the template to make the output super easy for the client and the realtor, and also make it super easy for the inspector in person at the house or the commercial building, whatever the case may be. But you might not have seen software like this before. So it's interactive, it's a web page, any PDFs that are included are down on the bottom, and then we color code everything. So we do videos. We video everything. We call it a snapshot section. So there's proof right in the report of us looking at the roof, the electrical panel, the attic, the crawl space, whatever the house might have, operating all the plumbing, operating all the appliances, thermal pictures of the furnace working, of the water heater working, of the air conditioner working. There's videos, in this case, of the pool working and the pool heater working. And then we also, you saw that photo there, let me go to the roof section. So everyone on all of our teams are drone licensed. We don't want to have any inaccessible roofs. You can see here, looks like I might have been able to get a little closer, but it's 4K video, so when we blow that up. But when you do look at this on an iPad, you don't have to walk on a tile roof and cause damage. My house is 3 stories tall. Not even roofers like to put a ladder up to that. You have to have special, the elevator equipment to get up on the roof, which of course no home inspectors are driving around with that. So the drones are just brilliant for replacing things that weren't safe, and roofs that we would normally in the old days just have to write down as inaccessible. So I just did one this morning. It was a condo. A home inspector would normally never look at the roof, not see the air conditioner. Well, you can see that we got video of the roof and the condition of the roof, but then also even cooler, I'm thinking a pun there. I was able to zoom in, and I don't know if you can see it on the video here, but we were able to get the manufacture date, serial number, model number of the HVAC unit. So super high level compared to what the industry's been doing. Now, you want to talk about high level, we also use thermal cameras on every single house. And I'm not going to go too deep on it, but basically thermal cameras see into the wall, see heat differences. If I were to put my hand right here just for 3 seconds, the thermal camera will pick up my heat signature from my handprint for, probably 2 minutes or so. And what that means is that we find water problems hidden in the wall, electrical issues, and missing insulation. Again, 99% of inspectors are not doing that. And again, all of this, from the report being written, all the videos that we take, the proof that we do, we also provide a recall report, we provide a property history report, we do the thermal scanning, and we do drone videos. And again, I had this house done in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So again, I'm not kidding when I say twice as thorough as the industry standard, but also twice as fast. Because I sat there for 20 minutes waiting for the client to show up. We walked her around. We have a special way we walk people around. What else makes us special? This is what, if I were in a position of going, I'm thinking about an inspection industry or a home services industry, but how am I gonna get my first clients? Let's just say I do. Okay, you get them from realtors, great. When I talk to the realtor, what do I even tell them? Here's what you tell them. You tell them, hey, you're the only company that has a 360-degree home buyer snapshot. So with every single inspection, which I just showed you, aerial videos, thermal scans, recall reports, property history, appliance inspections, carbon dioxide levels, color coding, snapshot sections. We give them $200 towards home improvements. And yes, I did have some free coffee for the buyer at the inspection. I'm not gonna give away that secret on how we do that though. And then our prices are hyper competitive. We're also full service. So you could tell once you're trained up, termites, sewer scopes, pools, mold, and lead paint, asbestos. We have the ability to teach you how to do all of that. The only caveat is that some states have licensing to do mold. Some states have licensing to do asbestos, other ones don't. Some have lead paint licensing. That's usually through the EPA. So the asbestos and lead paint, you always have to get something through the EPA. But the mold and some of the other stuff, for example, most anyone can test for meth in the state of Florida, but in Colorado, that's one of the strongest states where you gotta be like on a super special list that's impossible to get onto. And then what's really weird is, once you're on the list, you can't hire 3 people underneath you to go test the meth. You have to go test meth yourself. So every state has all these weird different rules in the environmental world. But what's great is we've done all of it. We have the templates for all of it. So let's talk about it. Okay, so when you're on site, the templates are already built. All of the things are there. So just to give you a real quick synopsis here, I'm not trying to go too deep. Snapshot, here's the video of the roof. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. In other words, this is what the states and the NACHI tells us we're supposed to actually report on to the client. So what's the age? How did we inspect it? And what is the roof covering? And then was there any limitations that didn't allow us to do it? Then you got, I won't go through all these, but roof water removal, chimney, design of roof, debris investigation, lifespan considerations, vents, flat roof. Now let's just say, instead of it being a flat roof like you just saw, it had tiles, right? So we click on concrete clay tiles, there's a pre-made write-up, and then there's the potential issues that come up with concrete and clay tiles. So you as an inspector are never left out in the dark, or none of your inspectors are left out in the dark as to what to write down, what's possible, what's not possible. And basically this stuff all starts off as black, and then it all is green by the end. So let's say here we wanted to write ponding. So all we do is check it. It's already pre-written, so you can see there. And then all you have to do is pull a photo. You either create a new photo, create a new video, or pull a photo or a video that you already have on your phone. It's a picture of a light that was out. We can label the light, we can circle the light, and that's it. You just have to add the photos and videos. But because we spend so much time on the template coming up with every single thing that could possibly happen, our inspectors almost never have to write anything. They never type anything up. They're never sitting at home writing reports late at night. All right, I don't want this to run on too much, but real quick, just the story behind Inspections Over Coffee. We were not always called Inspections Over Coffee. We had a different name before, and if we ever have a beer, I'll tell you what the name was. Inspections Over Coffee came from months of research and from our thousands of houses a year that we do, and we realized most of the inspection world is like big pants guys that are big trucks and all that stuff. But most people in the real estate world are female. So we wanted a much more friendly, talk with you, not at you, around you approach. We didn't want to be the condescending, talking down to you guy that women find at the car dealership and the oil change guy. And so we've leaned really hard into that. Our whole brand looks like that. It's all designed that way. And what's really great is if you wanted an excuse to walk into an office, you take one of our coffee mugs and with some Keurigs that say inspections over coffee and a couple of business cards, and you walk into a real estate office and you go, who's the branch manager? And you have an instant in. Most people like coffee, and even if they don't like coffee, they understand that almost everybody in their office likes coffee. A booth at an event for realtors, we rock it, right? Because we bring our thermal camera, we bring our drones, we have little coffee flavored candies, and guess what? We go to the local coffee store, however you want to do it. You can bring your own coffee maker if you really want to. And then our whole makeup is like free coffee. Because think about it, right? If you've got 200 people in that room, you just want to get them over to the booth. Some people want to like avoid the booth and avoid conversations, right? Well, we say free coffee really big and people come right on over. I want some free coffee. We got the sugars, the creamers, the stirs, and we get a chance to talk to them and meet them and collect their business cards so that down the road we can reach back out to them, have a conversation, we go, hey, look at all the things we're doing that are different. Give us a shot on your next inspection. We'd love to work with you. And you got the banner and it's all done. So to get back to that, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead or not here yet. So we have a whole brand guide, right? We have all the colors, and then we have all kinds of things. We have those tablecloths, we have that large banner, we have sidewalk signs. These are what we carry around with us and we put in front of the house so people know that we're there inspecting and nobody calls the police. We have nice business cards, we have standard business cards, we have 2-page flyers, 4-page brochures. Here, you see this? Coupon boxes. So if you want to walk in with your little coffee mug into the office and say, we have, here's a coffee mug, who's the branch manager? Can I talk to him or her about setting up a sales meeting? Can I also give your office $4,000? Because I got a couple hundred $25 coupons in here if your agents want to give us a shot. We always go back and forth about giving away a $25 discount, but if it wins you a job you weren't going to have in the first place, then who cares about that not having that $25? We've got radon flyers, we got panel note cards, like these are coming blank. There's envelopes they fit into with your address on them. You can use them like thank you cards, you can use them as marketing cards. Oh, bar coasters, I love these. So if you're anything like me, I love going to the happy hours and meeting realtors, but when you don't know anybody, and as the events get larger and larger, and even I'm noticing post-COVID, people are getting like really cliquey. They know who they know, and they're not really super gung-ho on like strangers, right? So I went to this event with like 100 realtors, and I was like, I'm not gonna be the guy that walks around like notepads and pens because that's lame, right? But I wanted like an excuse to get into their tables, but I also didn't want to feel like the single guy at the bar that's like asking out every girl at the bar, right? And so I'm talking to the design team. I said, what I'm thinking we need is I need like a bar coaster. So of course my design team rocked it and we came up with some really clever ideas. So you go to your first happy hour event, it's the first time with a new office and you don't know anybody. This could be really scary and intimidating. I mean, maybe the kind of person that just walks up to people and makes friends, and some people are like that. I'm not always like that. So the front of the bar coaster looks like this, but the back of the bar coaster is really fun. You could write with a pen, hello, this drink belongs to Sally. Watch my drink while I'm arguing with an appraiser, talking to buy her off the ledge, tracking down my pre-qual, or booking an awesome inspection. I mean, that's just fun. And when you hand that out to a group of 6 realtors that are all sitting together and you would have felt a little sheepish walking up, they've all got glasses of wine or cocktails or a beer, and so the bar coaster always makes sense because at a restaurant they're almost always going to use napkins. So this is a nice little takeaway. They're not overly expensive, and again, for $50 for 100 of them, all you need is one inspection for that to pay for itself. All right, so what is possible? Right people, that have the right mentality towards really executing on something that's already proven to work. The sky's the limit, because here's what I'm gonna tell you is that I've developed a lot of all of this and all the video training and all that stuff only over like the last 3 years. I kind of had to get everything that was in my head out of my head so it wasn't like this one-on-one training session anymore. Now, of course, you still get one-on-one with whoever you need it from, but we created the $1.55 million last year business without any of this, without bar coasters, without the video training. And so just imagine what you could do now with it. I'm excited about the prospects. The next step here for you to get a copy of our, if you don't have it already, a copy of our sort of like a little bit of an educational flyer of what the process looks like a little bit if you wanted to go down the franchise path. And then the next two things that would happen would be, we have what's called a digital discovery day, which I'll discuss in a second, and then you need a copy of the FDD, which stands for Federal Disclosure Document. Our Federal Disclosure Document is a really intimidating 200-page thing that is like all of the legalese when somebody, whether they start a McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts or a Spectora coffee. The FDDs are all very similar. There's certain federal rules that we have to follow set forth by the FTC. And I even have like a training sort of FDD video to sort of break up the FDD for you so that you understand what you're looking at. Because if you just plop down a 200-page document. So that's the first thing. You need to have a copy of that. If you're super gung-ho, you can't start tomorrow. You have to have the FDD in your hand for 14 days as a bare minimum before you can actually even start a business. So that's just a federal law. But the second thing is, if you were wanting to do a fitness franchise or a chiropractic franchise, you would normally go to their home office for what the franchise world calls a discovery day. What a discovery day is, you just kind of see how it all operates. You get to see some of the software, you get to see some people that work there, you might meet other franchisees, you might get a feel for the training. But the downside of discovery days are great, right? Because obviously you need that to help make a decision. The downside of a discovery day is it's expensive. If you don't live where the home office is, you have all the expenses associated with travel. You got flights, you got meals, you got hotel, and you can be $1,500 in just for a husband and wife to go look at a discovery day. So what we do to sort of like just take a half step there is of creating what we call a digital discovery day. And it's basically a video just like this where I'm gonna go over everything I would want you to see. And the goal of this, and I'll be totally transparent about it, is I want you to be super impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I want you to be impressed. But I don't want you to be so impressed that you feel overwhelmed. I want you to go through it and go, dude, we can do this, we can make this happen. I don't want it to be so simple that you feel like, well, we can go redo the software, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I want you to be impressed with how this relates to the rest of the industry, but I also want you to feel comfortable enough that you're like, dude, I think we could actually make this happen, create a six-figure company, and really rock and roll this. Those are the next couple of steps would be, if you don't have our informational brochure that talks about sort of what startup looks like, we'll start there. Then the FDD, which is like sort of the hard legalese stuff, and then a digital discovery day, which will kind of take you behind the scenes, go a little deeper on some of the stuff that I talked about here. So if that's for you, you just fill out the form on the bottom of this page and we'll get all that over to you. No matter what, whether you go on your own or we end up working together, I'm just glad you took the time to watch this video. Good luck to you no matter what it ends up being. All right, take care. Bye now.